Hello everyone, we are shooting 300 yards today, and let me point this. Actually, I've recently figured out that if I point the reticle into the sky, you guys can see it better. So that's 25 magnification, and that's all the way down to 5. So let's get on target. Okay. Now I'm going to zoom up. Go all the way to 25. Okay, we're using PMC to make sure I can see it good in the camera. Yeah, I think you guys can see it. Yeah, so all right. So we're shooting PNC X-Tax. Get this bubble level straight. And let's see, extend the stock a little bit. I have the camera adapter, so it actually makes the camera come out a little bit longer. Right, basically makes the scope longer. So I have to extend the stock. And actually, one of the interesting things I noticed earlier before I mounted the camera mount, starting at 15 there, that's 15 power. Oh, actually, that's 10. At around 15. You can see the mirage today because the sun's out. I have to take it a little bit out of focus so you guys can see it. But oops, no, that's I grabbed the wrong button. I'm turning the illumination dial. I always get those two mixed up. So yeah, if I dial back a little bit, you guys might be able to see the mirage, which is blooming straight up. I can't see it through this adapter because there's a very heavy tint. So I'm looking through 2 lenses before I actually look in the scope. So, but you guys might be able to see the mirage. So I figured out, somebody had told me so, but I figured out that you can start seeing mirage with a 15 power scope. And then with the parallax, you've got to dial it back a little bit, so because you got to focus in front of it. You're focusing on the air, not the target. All right, so let's zoom up. I'm gonna go to that first target. All right, so let me check my bubble level. I'm nice and even. So this should be a 1 mil hold at 300 yards. So that should be the top of the spine right there. That's what I'm going to hold on, and then we're going to see if that holds true. Okay. So I just got a regular mil-spec trigger in this. I was going to change out the trigger this morning to a 2-stage trigger, and I said I don't have time. And because it's like a 2-hour drive to get to this location. And this trigger wasn't too bad. I got a radical lower. So I'm shooting a radical lower with a palmetto upper, which had the scope already mounted on it. And the scope is the primary arms 5 to 25 by 56 on a Discovery op mount, 20 MOA. So I didn't dial, I'm using the hold over here. My follow through sucks right now. I gotta focus on that. Okay, dead trigger. Okay, so that was 5 shots. So I can't see the bullet holes, but again, I'm looking through the this is 300 yards. I'm looking through a camera adapter, so I'm looking through 2 levels of 2 basically pieces of glass before I look in the actual scope. So you guys might have a better view than me. So let's take this out and go out there and take a look-see. Pause this camera. So that's 300 yards. Okay, I just took a long walk up a big hill. Let's get to the target there. I didn't bring my tape with me. Shit, I forgot to bring my tape. It's probably about, you know what, I'm gonna mark these. We're gonna measure these on the way back. I'm gonna shoot this one more time. Shit, I forgot to bring my tape. I should have had it in my pocket. 4, 5 at 300 yards. I mean, here's a Sharpie. It's just outside of a length of a Sharpie, whatever that length is. Oh, no. Alright, so yeah, I'm using a Sharpie here as a measure. So you guys figure out how long a Sharpie is. I'm just outside the length of a Sharpie. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot that again. Alright, and start walking back. I'm gonna shoot that again. This time I'm gonna do it without looking in the camera. You know, looking through the camera adapter, because I don't think my hold was as good, but it wasn't too bad. I mean, that wasn't too bad over there. So wind's obviously pushing a little bit to the right, but my hold was good, because I basically held at 1 mil. And it went, oh, let me take a look at it. Yeah, it went just a little bit off to the right. Yeah, I can see it from here. All right, let's walk back and shoot this again. But what I'm gonna do is, because I don't know how good that video is gonna look through the camera, but what I'm gonna do is, if it looks good, I'll put it at the beginning of the video. If it looks bad, I'll do the part that I'm about to do now first, and then I'll add that part after. So I'll put the part that looks better on camera first. All right, so this time I'm sticking a tape measure in my pocket so I don't forget it. We're shooting these PMC X-Stacks, 55 grains. I'm actually kind of surprised that, because here's the thing, there's wind, but the wind seems to me like it's going straight out. I mean, there is a little bit of a like diagonal push to the right. I can see in the wind ribbon here. So I'm surprised that it moved the bullets as far to the right as it did, but it did. So I'm going to try and shoot a little further out here today, and I'm going to definitely have to take that into account when I go longer distances. Because last time I was shooting at distance of like 400 and 500 yards, it blew me completely off the paper. And I ran out of daylight, so I really didn't have too much time to play around with it. Okay. Same deal. Yeah, so earlier when before I left, because I was gonna put a 2-stage trigger in this, and I'm like, nah, it was a pretty light trigger. But now that I'm trying to take like a really precise shot, I can kind of feel the advantage that I get when I use the 2-stage trigger. But anyway, let's go down and take a look at this. Yeah, I'm thinking that the mil-spec trigger that Radical gave us on that lower is really, really nice. You know, if you're putting a red dot on that gun. But for you know, a high power scope that you're shooting at distance, yeah, I think the 2-stage is nicer. All right, up the big hill. So yeah, we can see that ribbon there. It's pushing about 3 to 5 miles. Right now it's dead. But when I opened up the camera, it was pushing. There it goes, 3 to 5 miles to the right. So when I go further, I'm definitely gonna need to favor a little bit left. Let's see what we got. All right, so we can see the fresh holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me open up this tape. So earlier, we got a 6.5-inch group at 300 yards with the Palmetto upper, 16-inch barrel. So that's with the Palmetto, with the PMC X-Tax 55 grain. And now we got a 7-inch group, the second round that I just did. So definitely like 6 to 7 inches, no problem. The wind is definitely, you know, messing with at least about an inch or two of this. Just because, you know, we just saw that ribbon. We can see it right there. Yeah, that ribbon is pushing left. And it's like a stop and go thing. Like right now, I just picked up to about almost, you know, it was at 3 to 5 before. Now it's like 5 to 7. So I think that the fact that sometimes it's sometimes it's like 3 to 5 and then 5 to 7. That, like with this group over here, that explains why it's elongated. Like the height here, I mean, across the board is not more than 3 inches. Oh, let me open this up again. So the height variance is actually about within 2 inches going across the board. So we have a height variance of the 5 shots of like 2 inches, but then we're stretched out to 7 inches. So that's you know, that's because of that wind that's like inconsistently blowing to the right. Actually, I just want to see something here. So if we look at the best 4 shots of the one that we just did, like the best 4 out of 5, because sometimes the ammunition's off. So best 4 out of 5 would be, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the 5th one. So these 4 shots here are at 4 inches, the one that we just shot. And then the earlier group, if we look at the best 4 out of 5, we're at 4 inches again. So this Palmetto upper, yeah, I mean, and this is a different, you know, I mean, I've got a number of different Palmetto uppers, and I mean, it's giving us like a 4 inches on 4 out of 5 at 300 yards. So, I mean, I've said it before, Palmetto makes good guns, and at a good price that, you know, can be widely sold and distributed. Because, you know, one of the things I tell people is that Liberty is not going to be protected by like a few thousand people owning like, you know, BMCs and Daniel defenses. Liberty is going to be protected by like hundreds of thousands, millions of people's owning like cheap Palmettos.